There are only two reasons to use VR: playing video games or watching naughty stuff. And I've only done one of these before. Gaming in VR is something I've never experienced before, but I've always been interested in trying it out. I always assumed that buying a PSVR 2 would be the easiest way of getting into the VR experience. Until I looked into it. It's easier to convince myself that Sekiro 2 is never happening than it is to experience every game I want on VR. I really hope FromSoft proves me wrong on that last statement. Please? Please? What are the barriers of entry, you ask? The price is insane, the library has fewer games than Xbox has exclusives, which is impressive, and the few games that interest my monkey brain are not even available on the current headset. Exclusivity will be the death of VR. Let me explain. After watching the Game Grumps play it, I've always wanted to experience Resident Evil 7 for the first time in virtual reality. But what headset is that on? Oh, okay, PSVR 1. Well, after I beat it, I'm gonna want to play its sequel, Resident Evil Village. So what headset do I need for that? PSVR 2. Oh shit. Well, wait, I'll just get the PSVR 2, then I can play Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 8 on the same headset, right? Nope, you can't do that. So I need two different headsets to play a single game each. All right. Well, what about Resident Evil 4 Remake VR? Oh, cool. That one's actually on PSVR 2, so I can finally play two games on one headset. Oh, I'll play the original Resident Evil 4 VR, and then once I beat that, I'll play Resident Evil 4 Remake VR. MetaQuest exclusive. Fuck VR. Exclusivity is nothing new in the world of video games, but until recently, it was just consoles. Why not throw VR into that annoying mix too? Every company that's currently making a VR headset is trying to market it as the next great sensation, and it's not gonna work. If I need three different headsets to play three different games in the same series, that's just stupid. You can't even play Resident Evil 4 VR and Resident Evil 4 VR on the same headset. Besides the Resident Evil series, there are some phenomenal experiences that still make me want to get a VR headset. Games like Half-Life Alyx, Resident Evil 4 VR, and Astrobot Rescue Mission are all on my list to play. The only problem is, they're all exclusives to different headsets. To explain the variety of VR headsets quickly, there are ones that connect to your PC, the Oculus Meta Quest, and PlayStation VR. For the highest end graphics and the best overall experience, it's gonna cost you at least $1,000, or half of what GameStop would give you for your retro video game collection. The Meta/Oculus Quest is the most affordable option for getting into VR. No connection to a PC is required, and the operating system is built right into the headset. You still have the option of plugging it into your PC for more resource-intensive games, which makes this the best overall option for the casual newcomer. And finally, the PlayStation VR headset. For this one to run, you need a PS4, the PS camera, and it needs to be plugged in at all times. Now, if you're setting this up on a PS5, you're gonna need a camera adapter, but luckily Sony offered that to players free of charge. They have since discontinued it as of November 2024. I guess it's just time to buy a PSVR 2 now, but for Sony to offer a free adapter for 4 full years, that's just unheard of in the gaming world. Just look at Nintendo and the Switch 2. They're charging for the demo. With the power of the PS5 and Sony's game catalog, is the PSVR 2 the best starting point? Kind of. From PSVR 1 to 2, the headset is now wireless and has better eye tracking. It comes with new and improved motion controllers, and the cameras are built right into the headset. Everything about the PSVR 2 is an upgrade, except there's one problem. It's just not compatible with the PSVR games that came before it. This is the biggest reason why VR headsets will always be a niche product. I'm not dying to play these games, and the price point is just way too much to stomach right now. When the PSVR 2 originally launched, it was $50 more than the PS5. It has since come down in price, but I'm not paying $400 to just play two exclusives. That would be like buying an Xbox One. Sony has whispered under their breath that they are working on ports for some of the games that came out for PSVR 1, but there's still no news on if they are ever coming out. It may be up to the individual dev teams to work on these ports, but they're probably just working on new games for the PSVR 2. And with all the layoffs at Sony right now and the price drop for the PSVR 2, I just don't see ports coming anytime soon. I hope I'm wrong on that last statement. Sony has already slowed down production on the PSVR 2 because of lackluster sales and all the reasons I've previously pointed out. Is there anything that can save VR though? Yeah, the games. Half-Life Alyx is the game that is selling VR headsets, and after I watched Jacob Geller's video on Alyx, I just want to play it. The only problem is, I don't want to spend $1,200 on just 4 games. Well, what if I told you didn't have to? How did you get in here? Shut up and listen. Sony released a PC adapter last year. What? So you can play Half-Life Alyx on the PSVR 2 now. That fix alone isn't going to make VR headsets popular, because I didn't even know that was a thing until I started researching this video. If Sony could just somehow get all the Resident Evil VR games to be playable on the PSVR 2, I'd buy one tomorrow. Even though there is still one gigantic reason that is stopping me from getting one. Between 40 and 70% of users experience virtual reality motion sickness after only 15 minutes of use. What I just told you is a complete lie. That's the statistic you get if you Google it, but the nuances are a little different. I found another study that a VR developer conducted on Reddit to see how often people actually get motion sickness. The sample size was 300 people, and there was no one from any VR subreddits. Over 50% of people have experienced VR motion sickness at least once, and 30% experience it frequently to sometimes. So there's a 30% chance that I spend $400 for the pleasure of experiencing potential headaches, drowsiness, and eye strain. I'd rather gamble that on if it burns when I pee after spending $400. So, yeah, VR is just never going to be mainstream, and I'll probably never buy one. Cool, whatever. Don't be silly, wrap your willy, and thanks for watching my dumb video.